Tonight on 7 News, a show of COVID unity as thousands of GPs sign up to help the vaccine rollout. Defence Minister Linda Reynolds extends her medical leave with questions growing over her future. A mother facing charges after a party argument turns ugly, leaving her husband fighting for life. New help for small business to go solar, with big savings up for grabs. Aussie seniors caught in an aged care trap, now too scared to plan for their future. And the new threat to our environment, the latest unwelcome local legacy of the global pandemic.
Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Mike Amor starts now.
Good evening. Australia's vaccine rollout has been boosted with more than 4,000 GPs signing up to start delivering the jabs. The first doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine have arrived in Victoria's hospital hubs with a bipartisan show of unity, including former PM Julia Gillard, to encourage everyone to get immunised.
Okay, I think you're on. Thank you.
Labor, Liberal, Bureaucrat. 3 titles trumped by one moment together.
Didn't heard it all. That's amazing.
Health Department Secretary Brendan Murphy, former PM Julia Gillard and Health Minister Greg Hunt received the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Plentiful supplies of 2 good vaccines, and we can go out there and vaccinate Australia.
If a picture says 1,000 words, what about Professor Murphy's eye-catching socks?
No matter what side of politics you barrack for, no matter who you intend to vote for, there is a united message, and that united message is please get the vaccine.
And that'll get easier when more than 4,000 GPs begin vaccinating in 2 weeks.
We're more than double our best expectations.
But many doctors complain they won't be equipped with enough doses, receiving just 50 a week instead of the requested 200 a day. Also arguing the charges of $31 for the first jab and $24 for the second aren't enough to make the rollout viable.
I think they're looking and thinking, well, the mass vaccination clinic, this doesn't suit. So they're having to just reinvent themselves. And I'm pretty confident they'll sit down and have a look at how they could perhaps co-bill some of those.
I did have one Toorak doctor who talked to me about how much they wanted to charge patients. And we said, sorry, this is free.
March 22, when GPs begin vaccinating, is the same day locally made AstraZeneca is available. But doctors don't think the rollout is fast enough.
We think a deadline of October for our entire population to be vaccinated is very ambitious, and I don't think it's going to be achieved.
The federal government says more healthcare workers are being vaccinated.
The start of what's known as Phase 1B for healthcare workers ahead of schedule, which is great news.
727 Victorians were vaccinated in one day. Our total, more than 13,500. A mix of Pfizer, like the Prime Minister, and now AstraZeneca, like these 3 well-known faces.
I know that people listened to me a lot in the early stages of the pandemic, and I want you to listen to me again when I say that I really, really trust these vaccines, both of them. They both work.
Live to Blake Johnson with news on updated figures on hotel quarantine cases.
Mike, yesterday we learned an international flight crew member had tested positive and was in hotel quarantine. Today we've been told that case has been reclassified and is no longer part of Victoria's numbers. So our state currently has 5 active cases. Today is the 9th day Victoria has recorded no new local cases. As for when overseas arrivals could resume, the state government says it's yet to consider the latest health advice. So if there is a timetable for those flights coming back in, we get to know about it. Mike?
OK, Blake, thank you. Defence Minister Linda Reynolds won't return to work tomorrow, extending her medical leave until early April. She told the Prime Minister earlier this week as criticism of her handling of rape allegations intensifies, putting her under increasing pressure to stand aside.
Last seen a month ago when the Morrison government was flying high. The Defence Minister's fate still up in the air.
She needs to go. Her position is untenable.
Linda Reynolds has apologised for calling alleged rape victim Brittany Higgins a lying cow, but is refusing to resign, instead extending her medical leave after being reassessed by her cardiologist in relation to a pre-existing medical condition.
The risk to her physical health was considered to be very significant.
Admitted to hospital last month and still on leave 11 days later. She'll miss Parliament's next sitting period, off work until the 2nd of April. avoiding a grilling at Senate estimate hearings, with Foreign Minister Marise Payne acting in her place.
We need the Defence Minister who can turn up to Parliament.
Also on leave, Attorney General Christian Porter, with neither minister likely to front the Parliament until the budget's released in May. But colleagues insist they'll keep their positions.
I have no doubt about that.
It's triggered an independent review of Parliament's culture, led by Sex Discrimination Commissioner Kate Jenkins. She's already backing an independent body for staff to make complaints.
There could be a confidential mechanism that won't bring down a government, but people are safe to come forward.
She'll also consider whether to strip politicians of the power to sack staff at will, with the final report due in November. Olivia Leeming, 7 News.
A 72-year-old driver's medical episode is being blamed for a multi-car crash at Kew. He crashed into another car stopped at the lights on Chandler Highway, pushing it into oncoming traffic where it was struck by 2 northbound cars. The 32-year-old man at the wheel of the shunted car has life-threatening injuries. The driver who sparked the chain reaction suffered only minor injuries, but his passenger, an 84-year-old woman, was seriously hurt. A man is fighting for life tonight after a Point Cook party almost ended in tragedy. The father of 3 had an argument with his wife before trying to stop her leaving by holding on to the side of their car.
It's the decision to get behind the wheel after a friend's party that could change a young family's life forever.
There's a 36-year-old man in hospital now fighting for his life. His 35-year-old wife is with us at the moment, assisting us with our investigation, and they've got 3 kids.
Just after 2 this morning, Tara McConchie and Damien Osborne were partying with friends in a Point Cook home when it's believed they had a fight. But when the 35-year-old tried to leave in their family car, her husband tried to go with her.
Her husband has stood on the running board and hanging on to the roof racks of the car, trying to talk to her. She, for some reason, has accelerated away down the street, and where that car has stopped, he's come away from the car, landed on the road.
The accident happened 100 metres down the street and outside Jill Grimmerson's house.
Got some towels, and just came and put them under his head and over his head to try and stop the bleeding. She was just screaming, saying he was going to die and he's dying and somebody help.
The couple's 3 children, aged 11, 10 and 5, were all at the party.
Horrified. I'm just so glad the children weren't there.
What is going to happen to those 3 kids, and who's going to tell them that bad news? I don't want to do it.
Georgia Comensoli is at the Royal Melbourne Hospital tonight. Georgia, how is the family doing?
Mike, 35-year-old Tara McConchie was arrested last night and is still in police custody. Police are now investigating if alcohol or other illegal substances factored into the accident. Mr Osborne remains here at the Royal Melbourne Hospital. He's been in surgery most of the day and tonight is in a serious condition.
Georgia Comensoli, thank you. Small businesses will be the next to benefit from the Victorian Government's solar rebate scheme. 2 new programs have been launched promising savings of thousands of dollars a year.
It's the next step in Victoria's solar push, bringing small businesses big energy savings.
Everything that we can do to help businesses get back on their feet and become sustainable is something that we're very dedicated to doing.
5,000 workplaces will be eligible for $2,000 grants to help purchase energy-efficient equipment. Then in May, 15,000 rebates will be available, saving businesses up to $3,500 on solar installation. Craig Ross just missed out on the rebate but still expects to save on his new setup.
My power bills are around the $500 plus per month, and they've now dropped down to $140 a month.
This is a very good way for businesses to reinvest back in, but at the same time take advantage of the government grants.
We've already seen a few thousand small businesses register.
The rebates will be available until 2023, with 5,000 small businesses expected to sign up each year. But some fear uptake will stall as many struggle to recover post-lockdown.
We've just come out of a year where businesses have been smashed, so it is a tough time to start asking businesses to put more money towards these programs.
Josh Ribrich, 7 News.
A shark alert has been issued for Phillip Island after a huge whale carcass washed up on Forest Caves Beach. It's feared the remains will attract sharks around the island until it's been removed. The Royal Commission into Aged Care has left Australian seniors petrified of ending up in nursing homes with many saying they'd rather die young. Advocates say the stories of abuse and neglect have left many retirees stuck in their tracks, refusing to consider care facilities, but with no backup plan.
For many Australians, growing old is a frightening thought. For those already in the later stages of life, the horrors exposed by the Royal Commission have turned that fear into a fast approaching reality.
They just can't believe it's happening and they don't want it to happen to themselves.
Half of the almost 6,000 over 50s surveyed by National Seniors Australia say reports of neglect and abuse had affected their planning decisions, including aged care.
People are stopping planning and worrying about this. We don't want people shutting down the future for themselves.
They're all horrified and they're all saying to me now, absolutely, I don't want to be put into a nursing home.
Bill says some of his mates are so worried about it, they've gone as far as stipulating that no one who has power of attorney over them in the future can send them to an aged care facility.
I'd prefer the machines were turned off or I didn't get treatment than going into a nursing home.
Preferring instead to age at home. But with more than 100,000 people on the waiting list for residential care packages and thousands dying waiting every year, that isn't an option for everyone.
That's just a dreadful thing for people to look at. No wonder they're concerned about planning for the future.
Despite assurances from the Prime Minister that change is coming, it will take time. But for many, that is something they don't have.
You're in the last little bit of your life and time goes so quickly you can't get it back again.
Rob Scott, 7 News.
2 registered sex offenders are off the street tonight after police made a public plea to find the men. Paul Kraft was arrested in Moorabbin last night, while Robert Crilly was taken into custody at Coburg North this afternoon. Former US President Donald Trump has turned a legal blowtorch on his own political party. His lawyers telling Republicans they cannot use his name for fundraising unless he okays it first. Mr. Trump's move comes as President Biden celebrates the narrowest of victories on a giant pandemic spending plan.
Gone from the White House, but still wielding influence. Lawyers for Donald Trump have hit his party's 3 biggest fundraising committees with cease and desist letters. They warn Republicans not to use his name or likeness without permission from Trump himself. In Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, and weighing his political future, the ex-president is believed to be determined he's not used to help re-elect any of 17 Republicans who voted for his impeachment. Donald Trump is so tightly tied to the Republican Party, many in it question whether it's even possible to campaign without mentioning their most recent president or the man many fully expect to be their next president.
The bill as amended is passed.
President Biden's American Rescue Plan passes the US Senate. $1.9 trillion in economic support measures. For most Americans, $1,400 checks.
This plan will get checks out the door starting this month.
For the unemployed, an extra payment extended, more COVID tests and vaccinations, and money to get schools and universities open again. The rescue plan is expected to receive final congressional approval in days, marking a narrow victory for President Biden. In the United States, Tim Lester, 7 News.
The countdown is on for what promises to be one of the most explosive royal reveals ever. In a few hours, Harry and Meghan will tell all on their split from the royal family, a highly anticipated Oprah interview set for a global audience. The hype is huge.
I just want to make it clear to everybody there is no subject that's off limits.
The fallout promises to be just as big.
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us.
Meghan and Harry sitting down with Oprah Winfrey, sharing with the world for the first time their reasons for leaving the monarchy.
Because it has been unbelievably tough for the two of us, but at least we had each other.
Not since Princess Diana's bombshell BBC one-on-one has Buckingham Palace been so exposed.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
I can't begin to imagine what it must have been like for her going through this process by herself.
Following in his mother's footsteps once again. The implications of Harry's decision could be enormous for the monarchy. But still for the royals, it's business as usual, celebrating Commonwealth Day. William and Kate taking time to chat to frontline health workers.
Catherine and I have spoken to a lot of healthcare workers in the UK and around the world over the last year, and we hear your worries and your concerns, and thank you for your time chatting to us about it.
They just get on with the job at hand, and it's duty, duty, duty.
Harry and Meghan's interview is seen by many as a way to raise their profile in the US.
I think the US certainly is going to be a more sympathetic audience. They were so proud when Meghan married into the royal family. I do think there's going to be more sympathy in the US than there is in the UK.
But it could backfire.
It really could be bad for them if they come across as not being grateful and not being gracious.
The Sussexes warned publicity and privacy don't mix.
If they choose to live in Los Angeles, there's a lot of photographers here. They're pretty much the biggest international target that there is.
Their time as royals is definitely over. Today marks 1 year since their last official engagement, severing all ties, a price they're willing to pay.
If that comes with risk of losing things, I mean, there's a lot that's been lost already.
Face masks may be keeping us safe, but they're creating a new problem. They're the latest addition to the list of rubbish clogging our streets and waterways.
Volunteers gather for Clean Up Australia Day, among them our Health Minister, to help the health of our environment. On hands and knees, Martin Foley got to work.
What is that?
For the 32nd year of the event.
Good, nice.
At almost 4,000 sites across the country.
I'm excited to be here with other volunteers cleaning up, but I find it depressing, to be honest, heartbreaking.
Oh, we found so many things, a lot of polystyrene, face masks, the little sushi fishes, needles and syringes. Yeah, a lot of mindless waste.
In Brisbane, buried weapons were uncovered, including 2 guns and a knife.
Single-use plastics is still the single biggest problem.
Shopping bags are declining, but taking their place, masks.
There are a lot of masks. It's a big issue.
It's not just about cleaning it up. At some sites, the rubbish is also divided up to help understand where this mess is coming from.
80% of what we found today it's actually from our street. It goes down the gutter and it makes its way down here.
Ordinary Australians want to make sure that they make a contribution to a better, cleaner, sustainable environment, and I thank all of them for their efforts.
You need a shower.
I do. Well, I'm not going in the river though.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
The AFL will be without one of its biggest draw cards for round 1. Andrew McCormack, Buddy Franklin can't get back on the path.
No, he can't, Mike. He's officially been ruled out of the start of the season. We'll get the latest from the Swans if Buddy can return at all from his injury limbo as a former Bomber flicks the switch in new colours. Plus, Collingwood continues its AFLW Premiership charge as an eagle-eyed fan goes rogue in the West. The Aussies on the end of a Kiwi crush in the series decider. And Mike, an incredible first on the PGA Tour has taken place overnight, but is it good for the game? We'll have the latest on that shortly.
All will be revealed. Macca, thank you. As many office staff head back to work, thieves are also returning to ply their trade. Up next, the surprising odds your home will be burgled and what you can do to avoid it. Plus, why a man is facing jail after the death of a motorbike rider in Emerald. An outback crash fireball, how a highway was obliterated in the blast.
Another great day for Moomba. I'll have what's in store for the rest of the long weekend soon.
And later, a homegrown medical hero. One woman's quest to help the thousands of Victorians who can't get the COVID jab.
David and Goliath battle.
I want my children to be proud of me.
I was told by the doctors that I wouldn't be able to run. Proving them wrong.
Get ready for the fastest show on the planet. Ultimate Tag starts tonight at 7 on 7.
The Buff Club, your favourite watering hole, is back with the best entertainment, including trivia, bingo and Friday night raffles. Plus a brand new menu with tasty specials every day. Support the club that supports you. Come on down, have a good time and relax at the Buff Club.
This is Billy. Billy did a in the park. Billy knows leaving there is wrong, but he doesn't have hands to pick it up. Owners do. Do the right thing. Bag it. Bin it.
Well, it's been another sensational day of tennis.
And let's check in courtside with Dylan.
I'm financing like I've never done before.
Dylan, we are live.
ANZ's Financial Wellbeing Challenge breaks your financing down into weekly steps so you can get on top of your money.
Well,
search ANZ Financial Wellbeing.
Take in the fragrance of the Territory with your local city florist, Magnolia Flower Merchants. Beautifully crafted floral arrangements and gifts, custom designs for that special event or wedding. Shop online or visit us Monday to Saturday at the Galleria.
SBA, specialists in novated leasing for government, corporate and the not-for-profit sectors. With over 18 years in the industry and a large panel of lenders, our clients get the best solution for their situation. salpacoz.com.au.
Can a plant-based diet give you the nutrients you need to perform at your best? Absolutely. Want to power your performance? The answer is INC Plant Protein.
The Thomas family of Tiwi love a great value family dinner at Tracy Village. The Walters from Wanguri go to watch the footy at Tracy Village. Monty from Muirhead is a big fan of the Tracy Village Sunday roast. Try Tracy Village. It's your local.
It's been 5 good years at the top for Toyota Hilux, Australia's #1 selling vehicle for the 5th year in a row. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
You'll be by my side through the lows and highs every single time. You'll be by my side.
With more of us returning to the office this week, there are fears thieves will also return to work. In some suburbs, 1 in 3 homes are likely to be burgled.
It's back to work for criminals clocking in at apartment car parks, bringing in tools of the trade, in this case an angle grinder to make short work of bike locks.
People are trying to access the bike storage cages and try to steal from there. It is important that you've got a good lock, you've secured it well.
There are concerns other opportunistic crimes such as car and home break-ins will rise this week. 75% of the workforce is allowed to return to work, meaning some homes will be empty for the first time in 12 months.
You might have habits where in the house you might leave a window open or you've left the back door unlocked. Really, we need to ensure that we're taking the necessary steps as far as our home security.
On average, 1 in 91 homes in Victoria are broken into. The riskier suburbs are Corio and Norlane, Braybrook and Cardinia, while regionally 1 in 33 homes are targeted in Morwell. Shepparton and Echuca are also on the list, while the city of Melbourne is one of the safest spots.
Ensure you've locked your doors, you've closed your windows, they're secure, and you've set on your alarm if you have an alarm system.
Police will be putting on extra patrols and targeting known hotspots like car parks and train stations to help prevent thieves breaking into vehicles.
The easiest tip to give is ensure you lock your car.
Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
A driver's been charged over a fatal crash at Emerald. The 37-year-old Narre Warren man collided with a motorcyclist yesterday morning. He's been charged with dangerous driving causing death. The victim's been identified as a 45-year-old man from Cockatoo. A devastating highway crash in the South Australian outback has left 2 people dead and another fighting for life. The crash set off a fireball so intense the road surface collapsed from the heat.
From the air, it looks like a war zone. From the ground, post-apocalyptic. On one side of the obliterated highway, a B-double burned and torn apart. On the other, the shell of a ute charred beyond recognition.
Absolutely horrific. Both vehicles were incinerated. The road damage is catastrophic.
A 23-year-old ACT man in the ute was killed. So was the truck's passenger, 57-year-old Hannah Reid, died in the inferno. Her partner, 49-year-old Mick Goddard, was behind the wheel and incredibly made it out alive.
He's had a head injury. His hands were burning still at the time. The front of his vest and his whole shirt had just gone out. He was basically still on fire.
Kelly Spendlove and her daughters were the first on scene.
Absolutely horrendous. It was horrible and hot.
Major crash investigators say when the B-double erupted into flames, burning diesel leaked from its tank, spilling down the side of the elevated causeway and into the pipes below. It was so hot, it melted the road from underneath. So severe, it could take months to repair. Rosie Barnett, 7 News.
3 men have survived a boat rollover on the New South Wales south coast. The vessel became swamped during an unsuccessful bar crossing.
Go, 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 go. Guys in the water.
One man was trapped in the upturned cabin but managed to escape. All 3 were eventually rescued by surfers. Life jackets are being credited for keeping them alive. It's day 2 of our long weekend and Melina Saris is once again soaking up the sunshine at Moomba. Mel.
Mike, it's a beautiful evening here in the city. After a very cool start to March, we've actually just had the warmest day so far this month. The crowds here at Moomba certainly made the most of the sunshine. 12,000 people are allowed through the gates each day for the Moomba Carnival here at Alexandra Gardens. There are 3 daily sessions and it's been so popular, the free tickets have all been booked out. It is a COVID-safe Moomba, so right now they're having a short break while they give everything here a clean and the crowds will be back shortly. We've had perfect weather conditions. The city made it to a top of 28.5, but some of our suburbs like Viewbank hit 30. It is still warm and partly cloudy out here now, but it will be a grey day tomorrow. I'll have all those details right after sport, Mike.
See you soon. Thanks, Mel. The long weekend exodus from Melbourne may prove only a temporary relief for struggling tourist operators. Up next, what the mum and dad businesses in our regional centres really need to get back onto their feet. Plus, heroic female officers saved numerous lives during a terrifying shooting spree. An apology from a real oxygen thief who stole a sick little boy's gas cylinders. And the groundbreaking study that could change how heart disease is treated.
Melbourne's Hoon hotspots targeted in secret to cause havoc. St Kilda, Dandenong South, Brooklyn, Tullamarine, Sunshine West, Keilor Park. On 7 News, inside the police operation to stop them. 7 News at 6.
20 years of serial killing and Malat wasn't convicted of any of them. And we're going to prove it. They're brought to a place where nobody would hear them scream.
Chilling similarities to the backpacker murders.
An incestuous relationship.
This is the deepest anyone has ever done into Ivan Malat's killing ground.
What we've uncovered will make world headlines.
It was swept under the rug.
The evidence was irrefutable.
This will change everything we thought we knew about Malat.
Ivan Malat, Buried Secrets. Next Sunday on 7.
Arafura Pest Control have been beating the bugs since 2011. Territory born and bred technicians using state-of-the-art equipment will beat the bugs in and around your home. If the bugs come back, they'll come back. Arafura Pest Control.
I don't know how GTNT do it, but they can find better quality applicants than we were ever able to find before.
The level of support that you can get through group training for your apprentices is unreal. From financial through the admin, it's about the apprentice, it's about the trade, and it's about improving the quality.
They do the paperwork, they do the HR, they take care of payroll, and it's just been a really good fit.
GTNT Group, making apprenticeships and traineeships easy. Visit gtntgroup.com.au.
New Swiss Tech by Sleepyhead, where elegance and comfort combine to give you a perfect sleep. And right now at Beds R Us, the Swiss Tech range is half price with silver service. Swiss Tech, half price and exclusive to Beds R Us.
Hydro Australia, engineering solutions for improved pump life and performance, providing aftermarket servicing and on-site support for your pumps. Power, mining or general industry, Hydro Australia will help identify your problems and maximise the potential of your pumps.
What have you never ever done in the Territory but would love to do? Never have I ever cruised to Crabclaw Island. Grab your mates and cruise with Sealink for a fabulous buffet lunch. Use your Territory tourism voucher at tourismtopend.com.au.
We are the Shorelands Group. Our preparation, planning and territory experience all come together. Shorelands Crane Hire and Logistics, the most established locally owned crane company in the NT. Shore Barge, 3 generations of territory-owned marine logistics, plus shore fuels and more, all supporting the local community and training the next generation of territory achievers. We are territory proud. We are the Shorelands Group.
Pre-planning a funeral wasn't something we thought about until we lost someone close to us. We made the decision to talk to Territory Funerals about pre-planning our funerals. That way we can give our family a loving, lasting gift and peace of mind.
The new i30 has a 10.25-inch screen for navigation, which when you think about it means it's connected to a network of satellites in space. That's right, space. The new i30, remarkable.
Regional Victoria is bustling with an influx of holiday-starved Melburnians heading out of town for the long weekend. But it might not be enough to keep businesses afloat, with interstate travellers scared to head here, fearing snap lockdowns.
In a post-lockdown world, there's no reason not to travel an hour out of the city for a good photo opportunity.
It feels good, like if I'm not able to go somewhere, and you spend more time locally.
The lavender fields at Dalesford's Salt restaurant have been top of the list.
It's mind-blowing. It's so exciting. The phones don't stop, literally.
Since our snap lockdown ended, Victorians have hit the road in droves, travelling and exploring the state.
We're seeing less from interstate and certainly more local people.
We were only allowed to travel 5K, so to be able to visit family in Ballarat and friends, it's been amazing.
There were senses of loss, not being able to go to Bali or to family in America, but now we realise what we've got in our back doorstep.
Nagambi's experienced a revival.
Consistently to be at 90% from now till certainly after Easter, it's great for business.
While Victorians are travelling locally, we are still struggling to attract tourists from interstate. Other Australians continue to worry about Victoria's COVID cases and snap lockdowns. And it's making business tough for operators in the city.
Our accommodation properties, our restaurants, our attractions in Melbourne are still really struggling because we're not seeing the level of interstate visitation that we need to actually kickstart recovery.
Jodie Lee, 7 News.
There's been a terrifying shooting spree in northern New South Wales. 2 heroic female police officers are being praised for saving lives as a man fired shots at a number of homes at Dunoon, about 20 kilometres south of Lismore. The officers were caught in the line of fire and 2 police cars were also damaged. A 63-year-old man is in custody. A sorry oxygen thief is on the run after stealing air tanks from the doorstep of a sick little boy's home in Perth. The baby was born with a lung condition and needs the canisters to keep him alive.
This is the definition of an oxygen thief. A man runs with 2 large tanks from the home of a chronically sick boy. He stuffs them in the back of his car and goes back for more.
It's not like a normal theft where it's something that you don't really need. It was life-saving medical equipment.
This is the little life he stole from. Baby Takoa has chronic lung disease. He was born at just 26 weeks and needs the oxygen tanks 24/7 to survive.
It's been scary, and then to have someone take his lifeline like that is just... yeah.
All up, 6 tanks were taken. 4 were found dumped and handed in by neighbours.
I don't know what he needed it for or what he wanted it for, but I'm scared that now he knows that he's on oxygen, he might come back.
Less than 24 hours later, he did, delivering the 2 outstanding bottles and an apology. It's lucky the thieves stole the empty bottles and not the new ones that were delivered just half an hour later. Takoa was down to his last bottle, which means he would have had to spend the entire weekend in hospital. Instead, it was the thief who came down with a case of the gilts.
I can't imagine someone knowing that a kid is on oxygen and taking it. Like, you wouldn't be human.
Cassidy Moscone, 7 News.
A world first exchange of faiths has taken place in Iraq. Pope Francis sitting down with the country's top Shiite Muslim cleric, Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani. The historic meeting in the holy city of Najaf lasted 50 minutes. The two religious leaders sharing a message of peaceful coexistence between faiths. The Pope and the Ayatollah agreed that the persecution of Iraq's Christian minority must end. A world first study has discovered gender might dictate how you're treated for heart disease. Australian researchers have identified the key genes which contribute to heart attack are different in men and women.
Margaret Kilby was just 35 when she suffered her first heart attack. She's survived 3 more.
I was completely shocked, as was my family, because I looked healthy.
That initial episode bearing the signs of a typical attack often seen in men.
I mean, they say it feels like an elephant sitting on your chest, and that's so accurate. It really, really does.
Now a breakthrough. In a world-first study, researchers have identified key genes that contribute to a heart attack are different in men and women.
That really open a whole new avenue of research and discovery, potential therapeutic treatments for women versus men.
In men, blood vessel blockages can be triggered by genetics linked to the immune system. In women, the key drivers tend to be muscular. This might explain why women tend to get blockages about 5 years later than men. Each year in Australia, it's estimated 50,000 women suffer heart attack or other acute coronary events. Doctors say the results will pave the way for more tailored treatments, potentially reducing the frequency of attacks.
Because the ultimate goal is to prevent people having heart attacks in the first place.
Tom Hartley, 7 News.
While the COVID jab rollout gains pace, many Victorians won't be in line due to other health worries. Up next, meet the Melbourne researcher hoping to change that. Her remarkable quest to find a solution is just ahead. Plus, see how an out-of-control car caused mayhem in the Big Apple. And the spectator who got a little too close to the action at her local Trots meeting.
I'm a bank manager, but now it's time for my next challenge.
This is Ultimate Tag. They are the hunters, and our players are their prey. Go!
The longer they last, the further they'll go.
It's like you're a little baby and a T-Rex is just running after you. All you hear is
Ultimate Tag starts next up on 7.
If you're looking to buy a property, stop tapping on walls and get a free ANZ Property Profile Report so you'll know how much a property could sell for. Get on top of property buying with ANZ Buy Ready.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Get the power of Tyre Power's massive Easter sale.
With a sweet offer from Toyo Tyres. Buy 3 selected Toyo passenger car SUV tyres and get 1 free.
Get the power.
Tyre Power. Get the power of Australia's biggest independent.
Australia, your country needs you. To take a holiday.
For Australia.
The cities are calling. It's time to see incredible stuff.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing, right?
Oh, okay.
You sure you know what you're doing?
Honey, I've got the hat. Romance ahoy.
Watch out for the...
Do stuff you've never done before. Like order one of these.
You order those all the time.
What? No, don't.
I'm good. I'm just soaking in the view.
I mean, I thought it was good from the bottom. It's time to get back out there. And there. And there. Oh, and there. Love that. Because the holiday here this year is just what Australia needs. Oh, stop! I'm doing the lime. Sorry.
Stop by Fiddler's for a fantastic $15 lunch available 7 days with nightly specials. Monday to Friday, 11:30am till late. Weekends from 9am including breakfast. All day dining. Fiddler's Green, the perfect place to dine in Darwin.
Even with the COVID vaccine rollout well underway, there will be thousands of Victorians unable to get the jab. Many with underlying health conditions can't take part, but one Melbourne researcher is working on a solution.
In the lab, an antiviral treatment that could protect everyone from COVID-19.
This treatment is for people that cannot take the vaccines or are immunocompromised.
It could also stop those who have coronavirus from getting worse.
For people at an early stage of infection where the virus hasn't spread much yet, so we want to basically flatten the curve in the body.
Developed by Melbourne-based biofirm ExoPharm, it works by introducing pharmaceuticals directly into the cell.
We will package them full of things that will help the cell then fight the virus.
For Dr. Salva Musa, whose family is still in Germany, this battle is personal.
I was more driven last year than ever before to really find that antiviral, to get it in the clinic, because I wanted to go home. We also had a loss in the family during that time.
There are so many new frontiers on which we need to respond to this pandemic, and having ExoPharm and the kind of work that Rania's leading will be, I think, very important.
And if all goes to plan, the antiviral treatment could fight other deadly viruses.
Once we've proven in the clinic that it's effective and safe, we can redesign it to use it against CMV or influenza and a whole bunch of other viruses in the future.
Sarah Jones, 7 News.
Nearly a dozen people have been injured after a terrifying car crash in New York. Debris was sent flying when two vehicles smashed through an outdoor dining area and food stand.
The aftermath of a frightening crash in the Big Apple. A smashed-up sedan earlier rear-ended by an out-of-control van. The Camry sent spinning, almost hitting pedestrians before ramming into an outdoor dining area.
Something just bang.
Signs and scaffolding came down as diners inside watched on. The van made it another block before slamming into a food stand. 3 pedestrians knocked over by the impact. Fruit and vegetables obliterated.
My son said he woke up and heard like a boom, like a bomb or someone falling from a building and screams.
It was a chaos. A lot of people started running towards the van to pull out the driver, and then they couldn't do it right away, but after some time they could do it.
10 people were injured, including 2 young boys, struck by flying debris. Police say the 66-year-old driver suffered a medical emergency. He's now in custody as locals begin cleaning up.
People are going to be scared to sit outside now. You know, that's going to be detrimental to the business.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
Race 3 at Perth's Gloucester Park Trots had to be delayed after a spectator got a little too close to the action. The woman sped down the straight before pulling up near the winning post. The horses were thankfully on the other side of the course, preparing for a start. Sure how that happens. Andrew McCormack is back with sport. And Andrew, one of the biggest names in the game has been ruled out of round 1 return.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. For the second year in a row, Buddy Franklin is sidelined for the start of the season. We'll get the latest next on just when he'll return. Plus, a selection statement as Luke Beveridge sends a message to a premiership hero back to the twos. The Aussies in the firing line as New Zealand rises to the occasion at the Cape Tin. And the monster drive that would give Happy Gilmore a run for his money.
You like spy movies? Sometimes a gentleman's just gotta save the world.
Sorry about that. Needed to let off a little steam.
Kingsman, tonight on 7.
Hey, Dad, in the olden days, did your car have a fridge and,
Canopy? No, son. We did things a little differently in the old days.
But now we can get a canopy from the new car shop?
Just gotta ask.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
We've always done it tough in the Territory because tough always has to be done. And where the needs of many sometimes require the actions of one. As we head into the storm season, Power and Water is committed to doing what needs to be done, building and maintaining the engine room of the Territory, investing in our communities, and always focused on one thing: protecting what's truly precious. To protect your loved ones this storm season, visit powerwater.com.au/prepare.
Are we there yet? Are we thinking of the planet? Are we helping people move? So, are we there yet?
Every day we move closer. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Head to the Troppo Pool Shop for complete pool services, pool equipment, cleaners, free water testing, all at their new Yarrawonga home. Open 7 days. It's time to cool off, so visit us now.
Congratulations to the Territory's Young Achiever Award winners. Ebony Carbillo, Young Carers Award. Claire Chandler, Regional and Rural Initiative. Jack Gumbula, Aboriginal Educator. Madison Clonan, Agriculture Award. Joel Benisha, Innovation Award. Olivia Shields, Career Achievement. And Claire Chandler was named NT Young Achiever of the Year. The Young Achiever Awards are proudly supported by founding partner and prize patron TIO and 7 Darwin.
The Adding Value CFO, accounting and strategic advice for small business. Michelle Bain looks beyond the numbers to understand your business now and into the future. Also offering training on popular accounting packages. The Adding Value CFO.
Rob Lowe is TV's wildest new sleuth.
Shoot me! Nobody shoots anybody here because it's England.
Wild Bill, tonight on 7-2.
Welcome back. Swan superstar Buddy Franklin has been officially ruled out of the season opener. Live to Chris Stubbs with the details. And Chris, Buddy is back training but yet to do a full session.
Macca, the Swans certainly taking a cautious approach with anything that involves Buddy Franklin. There's been no fresh setback. The 34-year-old is just not ready to return from his soft tissue injuries. He hasn't played in more than 18 months. Coach John Longmire spoke late this afternoon and he's certainly not about to rush Buddy back.
He'll play when he's ready to play. Hopefully, if he continues the way he's going, it'll be pretty early, but it won't be around 1. Hopefully, everyone understands that we've got to get him right for the whole season, and that means he mightn't play every game.
Meanwhile, the Bulldogs have made a big statement before the season has started. Premiership hero Jason Johannesson is playing in the reserves tomorrow against the D's. But last night, it was a new-look Bombers under Ben Rutten. The Bombers lost, but in many ways were the winners against the more credentialed Cats.
Obviously a fantastic mature side, so I think the guys certainly would take a bit of confidence out of tonight.
Essendon United in their first season under Ben Rutten.
A bit more clarity across the page, across the group.
New Cat Jeremy Cameron kicked a couple, confirming he and Tom Hawkins will be more than a handful.
It's just good to get the synergy going down there in the forward line. There's a fair bit to work on still. It's definitely heading in the right direction. I think it's exciting for everyone.
Cale Hooker kicked 4 in a makeshift forward line. Peter Wright also promising following the departure of Joe Danaher. Former Bomber Orazio Fantasia is settling into his new life at Port Adelaide. Power too good for the Crows.
Orazio Fantasia's kicked 3 goals, 3.
In Sydney, Toby Green was up to his old tricks against the Swans.
He missed the ball.
The serial pest not missing when it mattered most.
The freak at his best.
Giants top draftee Tanner Bruhn booted 4, including this almost 80-metre effort. An ankle injury to Lockie O'Keefe, a low light of the 28-point win. Chris Stubbs, 7 News.
The Magpies have sent an ominous warning to the rest of the AFLW, smashing the Western Bulldogs by 36 points, and it was Chloe Malloy who starred once again with 2 goals.
Danger, can she turn Brown? Wants to sell the dummy, gets onto her right boot and kicks a goal!
The Pies have now won 6 on the trot to remain the only unbeaten team this season. Meantime, Carlton remains in finals contention after a comfortable 33-point win over Geelong. Veteran Matthew Wade has done enough in New Zealand to hold his spot in Australia's white ball side, according to former keeper batsman Brad Haddin. Wade top scored for the Aussies in the 5th and final T20, but it wasn't enough as the Kiwis claimed a 3-2 series win. The Wellington locals call their stadium the Cake Tin, and this was the icing for New Zealand.
It got all the way, you betcha. What a way to finish in style, and an emphatic victory in this T20 series.
Promoted to open above Matthew Wade, Josh Philippi managed just 2. Wade and Aaron Finch laid a solid platform.
He goes for the slog sweep. He goes long enough for 6.
The 33-year-old doing enough to hold his spot ahead of the likes of Philippi and Alex Carey.
I think at the moment Matthew Wade's got the front running.
But another middle-order collapse halted Australia's innings, even when the Kiwis gave a chance to regain the momentum.
And down! Would you believe it?
The Aussies handed it straight back.
Well, that was a terrible delivery. Marcus Stoinis is not going to believe that.
In reply, Martin Guptill quickly killed off the contest.
That is a big hit. He's onto the roof.
3 sixes in one Adam Zampa over, and the Kiwis chased down the 143-run target with relative ease. Riley Meredith, 1 positive for selectors to take back home.
Oh, close. Had him out, LBW.
His express pace looks a handy option for the T20 World Cup in October.
A couple of guys made their debut and performed really well. That's been exciting.
Although the Tasmanian was lucky to make it back on the plane in one piece. Victoria needs 245 more runs for victory heading into the final day of its Sheffield Shield clash against Tasmania. James Pattinson took 3 wickets to set up a gettable run chase at the MCG. Meanwhile, Cameron Green piled on a double century against Queensland. The WA all-rounder dismissed for 251 at the Gabba. Victory coach Grant Brebner is facing an uncertain future after hitting rock bottom against Melbourne City. Victory was embarrassed in a 6-0 derby demolition and remain anchored to the bottom of the A-League ladder. In his first season in charge, Brebner now faces increasing pressure to save his job.
Emotionally, it's a tough one. I don't really want to think that far ahead just now. I want what's best for this football club. And to get drawn on any questions like that at the moment, you know, I'm not going to get involved in it.
The emphatic win sent City into the top 6 after their 3rd win in a row. Chris Goulding returned to the court after a month out with a calf injury. The Melbourne United star hit 21 points against Brisbane, including 6 threes.
Put a hand up and play great D like that, man. Oh, my. Chris Goulding is about to get the swagger going.
But it wasn't enough to get United home, going down 96-88 in just their 2nd loss of the season. The Aussie Diamonds have surrendered netball's Constellation Cup to New Zealand for the first time since 2012. Australia needed to win today's final game by 3 goals or more, and they did lead by 8 deep in the 3rd quarter. They collapsed for the 2nd straight game and lost 45-43. Big hitting Bryson DeChambeau has lit up the golfing world during the 3rd round. And Mike, just before I go, now that crowds are back at the footy clubs, of course, all about the fan experience, but West Coast and Fremantle supporters, well, they got a bit more than they bargained for in Perth when Aussie the Eagle went rogue before this afternoon's AFLW Derby. The mascot roamed around Optus Stadium for around 10 minutes, checking out a number of different vantage points. Eventually, Aussie's handlers managed to get her back under control, safe and sound. We almost had an Arden Street elephant incident of 1978 fame, but luckily everyone was okay.
Understandably, they looked a bit nervous. I just hope it's an omen for the season, maybe a wayward season for the Eagles. Sorry, Eagles fans. Okay,
maybe.
Thanks, Macca. Let's head back to the banks of the Yarra now. Melina is at Moomba with your public holiday forecast, Mel.
Mike, I hope you made the most of the sunshine today because tomorrow is looking cool, grey and showery. I'll have those details next.
I've been working with a little girl by the name of Izzy, and she's got cerebral palsy.
She is the most incredible girl.
This is Ultimate Tag. There's one simple goal. Don't get caught.
The longer they last, the further they'll go.
The fastest show on the planet, Ultimate Tag, starts next up on 7.
Kununurra Rural Traders, the specialists in pest management and fire safety, providing commercial and domestic pest control and fire safety training and equipment services. For performance, service and commitment, call Kununurra Rural Traders today.
Look great for less at Unique Hair and Beauty, your one-stop beauty shop for men and women. Get stylish men's cuts from $20 and keratin treatments from $150. Unique Hair and Beauty, corner of Sabine Road and McMillan's Road, Milner.
New Swiss Tech by Sleepyhead, where elegance and comfort combine to give you a perfect sleep. And right now at Beds R Us, the Swiss Tech range is half price with silver service. Swiss Tech, half price and exclusive to Beds R Us.
At Apex Steel, you come first. Personalised friendly service for major construction, general fabrication, fencing or the home handyman. Apex is here for you. We stock everything you need to get the job done. RHS, pipe, beams, purlins, mesh and lots more. For a great deal on steel, head straight to the top. Apex Steel. New location in Holtz. Bigger and better premises.
Have felt for decades with the all-new all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. A new generation of adventure begins.
At Telstra, our 7-day price match on a range of phones, using Telstra Plus points and trading in selected phones can help make technology more affordable.
Melbourne's Hoon hotspots. Inside the police operation to stop them. 7 News at 6.
Welcome back to Moomba, where the crowds are just starting to arrive for this evening's session. We had clouds, then sunshine, then more clouds this afternoon, but despite the gloomy conditions, we have seen some pretty warm weather. The city hit a top of 28.5 degrees. Outside now it's 25 and it will be a lovely evening in the city tonight, staying in the low 20s until around 10 o'clock. If we take a look around Victoria, the south was foggy with low cloud this morning, but the rest of the state had mostly sunny skies. Our highest temperature today was Swan Hill, which got to 32 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite now, an inland low pressure trough will move across central and eastern Victoria tomorrow, while a ridge pushes into the southwest from a high over the Bight. And if we take a look on the synoptic, that ridge will extend across the state on Tuesday, with a high moving over the Tasman on Wednesday. So tomorrow will be cloudy and cooler across Victoria. Showers will move in from the west and sweep across the state, but they shouldn't be particularly heavy falls. Around the nation for tomorrow, a possible shower in Brisbane, a top of 30. Sydney could have some storm activity, partly cloudy in Adelaide, and Perth is partly cloudy as well. But in Victoria, isolated showers will extend from the west. They are more likely in the south, contracting to the east during the evening. There's the chance of a thunderstorm in the north during the afternoon and evening as well. It'll be a mostly cloudy day and pretty mild as those winds shift southerly. Around the suburbs tomorrow, cloudy with light winds. We could have some showers as well during the afternoon and evening. We could see a shower or two in the city too, up to millimetres. Is forecast, dropping to 16 overnight before a top of 21 degrees. Tuesday is cloudy and 20 degrees, partly cloudy on Wednesday, 22. A little sunshine on Thursday, 24. Partly cloudy on Friday, 26 degrees. A shower or two later in the day on Saturday, 24 the top. And next Sunday, a shower or two and 18 degrees. And a shower or two in the city tomorrow with a milder top of 21 degrees. So a couple of cloudy days on the way, but the sunshine will return by the middle of the week, Mike.
OK, thanks, Mel. And that's 7 News for this Sunday. We'll keep you updated throughout the evening. For now, from the 7 News team, have a great night.